Hello, everybody. Make sure I have nothing my pearly yellows. Yeah, looking good, looking good. All right. So the Falcons won. That's good. The Pats won. That's good. Looks like the Bills won. Pulled it out the end. Alabama lost yesterday. Uh, Good times. Good times. So if you have questions going forward, put them in caps. We were able to catch yours, David, because of one of the first comments. But if going forward, if you have questions, put in the caps if you don't mind. It looks like the Giants won too. Hate the Giants. Put any questions in caps. All right, so we got Carson jumped on board here first. Said 1,000 gun-toting IRS agents get hired. IRS destroyed 30 million documents. Our 1044s get audited because they don't have matching documents. Good times. Destroyed 30 million documents, kind of like NASA destroying the initial the moon landing telemetry and the original data for the NASA to go to the moon. Some guy actually argued that it was for national security. That's why they destroyed it. No one has said that. It's no one that. I mean, just I find that if that's your evidence. IRS destroying documents. You know, Hillary Clinton's. Remember that there's a fire on the seventh floor of one of those places where Hillary Clinton stores stuff. Look, man, it's NASA destroyed documents. If you want to talk about the moon landing stuff, the list. I don't even know what the hell they did with the DOJ. You know, with weapons of mass destruction. I just who knows, man. Operation Paperclip, Operation. I mean, just who knows? Who knows, man. Let's have another Frank Church commission. If y'all are familiar with Frank Church, you'd be stunned that I'm saying that because Frank Church was a big lib from Idaho of all places, but he wanted to hold the FBI accountable. How the pendulum has swung, how the liberals love the FBI, and it's the conservatives that say no. Right. So my man got right here. Would like to hear my thoughts on the impact of the looming liquidity crisis. What looming liquidity crisis in U.S. Treasuries? Where's the liquidity crisis coming from? Also, your comments on Treasury considering buying Treasuries. Well, I mean, liquidity crisis from where? That sounds to me like you think people don't have cash to buy liquid Treasuries. Yeah, I think David's been following the negative Nellies for too long. The Treasury has been buying up stuff all over the world, man. Come on. The Treasury wants to create liquidity. Is easy to do. I don't know. I'm not. Sounds like you're very pessimistic, and that's okay. I'm probably not the channel for you, frankly. Pessimism doesn't work here. We've heard this all before a million times a Sunday. I have a newspaper.com subscription, which goes back to basically the 1850s. The Federal Reserve came out in 1913. Everyone and their mom's been talking about the debt, the deficits, the interest rates. It's always been wrong, dudes. It's always been wrong. It's crazy to me. I don't know what the liquidity crisis of treasuries would be. Tons of cash sitting on the sidelines. Banks have tons of capital. The 10 years at 4%. That doesn't seem like that. The reason it's still at 4 as opposed to 6 as opposed to 10 is because there's people on the buy side. Folks, can I just make a point here real quick? For a transaction to occur, there has to be a buy and a sell. All right, yeah, just for the record. The liquidity crisis of 2008 and 9 was not caused by government ineptitude other than via mark-to-market accounting. That's what caused the liquidity crisis. There is no more mark-to-market accounting. And if you read, even my man is back there, the Holy Grail Macroeconomics by Richard Koo, he talked about that in Japan as well. Mark-to-market accounting caused the liquidity crisis in Japan, caused liquidity crisis here. That is gone. There will be another crisis that no one knows what it is right now. I'm just telling you right now. I don't know what it is, but a liquidity crisis ain't it, man. There's tons of cash flopping around back there. Tons. Banks are so heavily capitalized with so much bank money. I don't even know what the reserve ratio is anymore. 0%? 0% reserve ratio? It's insane to me. So the 10-year treasury going above 4, well, there still has to be a buyer. Now, this guy could say, well, the buyer is a government. Well, hell's bells. Welcome to the club, man. Who is the biggest owner of debt in the United States? Who is it? Who wants to take a guess? Who the biggest owner of debt in the United States? Anybody? Who is the biggest owner of debt in the U.S.? Hey, Joe. Hey, Eric. Looks like the Packers lost again. Yeah, 100%, Denise. David's been following too much news. Oh boy, we already got a hot girls here. Oh boy. The Fed. Well, it's not. It's the United States government. I mean, the Fed, but the U.S. government by far and away owns more of the bonds in the U.S. than any other country. Nothing that comes close, man. Now, modern monetary, modern MMT, modern monetary theory, MMT, is already here. It's been here for a long time, 100%. And frankly, they've been proven not incorrect. I'm not going to say they've been proven right, but inflation hasn't reared its ugly head because of federal printing. The whole thing is just stupid. But modern monetary theory, MMT, hasn't caused. Why is my connection unstable? Every time we go live, it starts saying it's unstable. If you see me, right, federal government. It's crazy how many people get caught up in this. I'm just like, dude, we've been through this before. I mean, I just literally, my lesson was in 2009 and 10. When I thought for sure, because I'm a Milton Friedman guy, I thought for sure too much money chasing. I was literally just like this. Too much money chasing few goods. It was going to lead to rampant inflation. Don't lock in long-term treasuries. What a mistake that was. On top of that, not only did I say that, I said inflation has to come. Don't lock in any long-term debt because there's going to be huge amounts of interest rates going up because of the rampant inflation that comes. Never happened. It was crazy. On top of that, we're talking about the now I'm drawing a blank. What I was going to say. So in 2008, we had interest rates have to go up, inflation have to go up. And I forgot there's something else along those lines too. Never happened. I mean, never did. Here we are in 2022 and 21. We have inflation. It has nothing to do with monetary policy. I'm sorry. This is so freaking stupid for me to continue to say. The Fed has nothing to do with this, man. The Fed didn't do it. They can't fix it. The Fed can hurt. They can freaking shiv us in the back because they're fools, and they're doing that for sure. But it's all about energy. Cheap energy runs cheap economies. That's all there is to it. Expensive energy runs expensive economies. There's just new toys around that. Nothing to do with the Fed. That does not mean modern monetary theory is what we want. But Japan's had MMT for years. There's still no. In fact, let's take a gander at Japan's inflation. It's been a long time since we've looked at. Not a long time, but a while since we've looked at Japan. I just I get tired of this idea that there's. Oh, I was going to remember the repo. There was a repo crisis back in 2000 at the end of 2019. Everyone's talking about the repo crisis, and I was like, "What? Cars getting repossessed?" Because I come from a banking. I used to work in banking. We'd go loans and we'd do floor plan loans for car dealers. And repo meant repossession. I said, what is these people talk about repos? No one ever heard of repos. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they have to create this false sense of doom as repos. There was, and I've said this before, the Dubai debt crisis in 2010. Oh my goodness, the Dubai debt crisis. There is always a boogeyman everywhere. Always. There is no liquidity crisis. This is insanity, man. 2009 was mark-to-market accounting, my friends. It had nothing to do with a lack of money. It had to do with government. The people could not, they were literally, according to their charter, could not buy bonds that drop below a certain percentage. It was mark-to-market accounting. And so they all had to sell them because there's no other side of the trade. There's no one on the buy because the buy side said, I literally can't buy my charter as a fiduciary. I cannot buy your bond. But my bond's trading at 50 cents on the dollar. I can't do it. In fact, not only can I not buy your bond, I have to sell my bond by mark-to-market accounting. Barney Frank, of all people, saved the day. When he got rid of mark-to-market accounting, March 9th of 2009 was the market decline. It was a market bottom. March 6th, 2009 was when Barney Frank had a congressional meeting to get rid of mark-to-market accounting. That's what happened. It literally it's just that simple. I fell for all this crap. I did. That's what, oh my goodness, rampant inflation running wild. You know what I'm saying? The dollar's going to collapse. It's so freaking stupid, man. There's nothing further from could have been further from the truth. Anyway, so let's take a look at Japan here. I haven't looked for a couple of weeks on Japan. Let's see what our old buddies in Japan are doing. All right. So, oh my goodness, debt to GDP ratio of 266%. Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah, they got a positive current account. How could that possibly be? Oh, my goodness, their budget deficit is 12%. What? Oh, yeah, their jobless rate and inflation rate are way low. And of course, the only reason we have high inflation is because high energy has nothing to do with this. But look at that. Government budget, that's their deficit. Debt to GDP, they even have surplus in their current account. Inflation data is low. Interest rates are still negative interest rate policy. No growth to speak of. We go to the U.S. Inflation rate's high. Jobless rate's low. Inflation rate's low. Jobless rate's high. None of this could happen under Keynes or the old macroeconomics we've been trained on, and that could be monetarist, i.e., Friedman. I don't even know what hell freaking Paul Samuelson would be, but he's a father of modern macroeconomics, econometrics. None of this should be applicable. None of this should. That's why the economic profession is just it's silly and on its face, man. I'm reading some stuff right now on Einstein and various. I'll show you here real quick just to show how smart I am. But I say that with a chuckle. But I'm reading some stuff and I'm like, it's funny because I'm an economist by. I hate to even call myself an economist, but I'm just reading this a bunch of articles right here. So we got right here, international relativity, the establishment of the theoretical discipline. We got Thomas Glick. I can't remember where this is from. Anyway, as long as the advocates of the relativity principle form such a modest-sized crowd, it is doubly important for them to agree with one another. So we got to make sure we agree to promote the theory. Then we got everyone is talking about relativity, and the artistic physicist, the coffeehouse strategist, move lumps of sugar around to give an idea of what an inertial system is. The press fills columns after observed column, horribly distorting the relativistic harmonies. Cartoonists and humorists squander their charm and good humor on Einsteinian curves in space. The role of the generalizer, never lacking in any latitude, tends to make relativity the panacea of universal knowledge, which, at the same time as it solves problems of the interatomic world, poses the gravest questions about bullfighting. Anyway, the point being, it's just equations upon equations upon equations. These are physicists who have mathematics envy, actually. If you actually read some of this on Einstein, you recognize that maybe he wasn't quite the mathematic genius that we all think, and that's why he went to theoretical physics. Very interesting. Does he know more math than me? Of course. I know 2 + 2 = 5. That's pretty much it. But I just found it funny. But anyway, so the point being is we have these physicists, theoretical physicists in particular, astrophysicists probably even more, who like to play around the numbers, but aren't quite as good as a real number crunchers, the mathematics. But it makes them sound smart to say, relativity and all this and all these equations. And that's exactly what the economists did, Paul Samuelson, Markowitz, and things of that nature in the late 50s and 60s. They saw how much street cred the physicists were getting in the basic from 1930s on through the end of World War II. And the economists said, we want a piece of that pie. So they became all these mathematicians and whatnot. Anyway, point being is, and I'm actually reading this guy right here. Pretty, you guys can't see. Hold on a second. I'll show you what this is pretty, again, just interesting stuff, man. This is one of the best things that having my own, work time. I just get to read on stuff that's interesting me that I never would have thought about before. Here's a guy named James Jeans, who is right here. Hold on a second. He was Jeans, along with Arthur Eddington, is a founder of the British cosmology. He was the first to conjecture a steady state cosmology based on a hypothesized continuous creation of matter of the universe. Anyway, very interesting. The theory fell out of favor when in 1965, the discovery of cosmic microwave background was widely interpreted as a telltale sign of the Big Bang. I'm not going to get that here right now, but I find it interesting. So here's a guy that I've never heard of, you know what I'm saying? But you just come across these guys as you read a little bit more and you recognize none of this stuff is solved. All right, so that goes to even more true with economics, my friends. None of this stuff it's all smoke and mirrors. But let's go to economics because I want to show you again that none of this, according to Paul Samuelson and the modern economist, should coexist. High inflation, low inflation, low unemployment, low unemployment. That should not happen. Current account deficits, current account surpluses, debt to GDP high, over 100%. That should not happen. Whoa, let's go to the euro here. Here's the euro. Inflation rate high, jobless rate high, but 6.6, pretty high. because a lot of that has to do with Southern Europe and whatnot. But it'd be there as May 6.6 government budget. Look at that. Oh, but they have a debt to GDP below 100%, and they got current account of a positive. Isn't that weird, huh? Crazy. Again, low interest rates. What? I mean, none of this should happen, man. Remember, high inflation was supposed to lead to low unemployment. It didn't happen here. High inflation is supposed to lead to low unemployment. It happened there. Low inflation is not supposed to lead necessarily to high unemployment. But here we go. All these things are completely. None of this should fly in economics in terms of the three biggest economies that we have. By the way, did you hear that at the end of this year, India is going to surpass China for a number of people? Isn't that crazy? India will be the largest population by the end of 2022. And we know China will be down to about 700 million or so by the end of this century, just as an FYI. Just as an FYI. And by the way, all these people fall for all these numbers on population. I don't buy it at all. I don't. And just like people say, well, I can see the curve of the earth from the plane. No, you can't. But I would also argue, look, you can look down as you're flying in a plane and see a whole lot of green space in the United States. And we are the fourth largest country in the world, maybe the third. I think there's Indonesia. Maybe we are the third. There's Brazil. I thought Indonesia might be bigger than us. Let's see here. No, I guess not. No, not Indonesia. Well, there we are. Yeah, we're the third largest country in the world. I thought there was one other. I guess maybe the Euro. Anyway, be that as it may, the issue is that even the United States. Now, the United States is big, I grant you, but we're the third largest country, and pretty much by far. Nothing even comes close, man. I mean, look. Brazil's next. Brazil's pretty doggone big. China's huge. Russia's huge. And Russia doesn't even have 150 million people. And a lot of those guys are old. And if you look, oh, by the way, UNICEF sucks. Don't support them. By the way, if you're looking down when you're flying, you see a lot of empty space. So the idea that we're running out of farmland is just silly. But the point being is you can see that none of this all the negativity stuff is crazy to me. It's crazy because if the world was overcome with population, we should not be able to look down and see all that empty space in the United States, which is the third largest country in the world. The world's a big freaking place, what I'm trying to say. All right, so let's look more at Japan. I want to see more of Japan because, again, Japan is the breadbasket of things that have gone poorly for many years in terms of economics, basic economics. Let's go to, we'll see the interest rate for Japan for many years. I want to get some politics. Look at that, dude. We're talking, look at that. It's been for 20 years, it's been at zero. 20 years. Look at that. Freaking crazy. Look at that. Do they give us M2? I don't think they give us M2 here, do they? Not for long enough. Let's see. Do they give us M2 money supply? I don't think they give it very long for M2. Oh. Yeah, it doesn't tell us what it is. There's M2. So anyway, here's inflation. Their M2 is going from 600,000 million. I don't even know if that's in billion. I'm not sure what it is, but whatever it is, from there to there. And yet their interest rates are low and inflation. Let's go to inflation. Look, I've done this 1,000 times, but I'll continue to do it until I'm blue in the face because it's important. Inflation rate right there. So M2 is off the charts. Interest rates are low, and yet inflation right here. None of this would make sense in basic economics, and yet here we are. There's no inflation to speak of. And the only reason we have inflation here is because the idiots and the fighting the war that we shouldn't be involved in. Again, Putin set that up, man. I know that for a fact. I don't know that for a fact. Putin's part of it 100%. I'm more convinced that Putin's in on it with young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. I'm convinced of that. And so anyway, the idea that Putin's our enemy, I don't think so. I think Putin's not our enemy specific to the United States. Putin's the enemy specific to the World Economic Forum, the young global leaders and the cabal, what they're trying to do. All right. So, yeah, Maria, I saw some brokered CDs that were offering rates 4.5. I was maybe 4.25. But the credit unions weren't offering anywhere near that. So mark-to-market accounting means they got to liquidate their assets when it goes below a certain market price. That's what they do. They mark their assets to the market. I.e., price them to the market. They're not, even if they're not trying to sell. They say if the assets drop below the current rate because the market is this, you got to liquidate. So they threw a whole lot more liquidation in there, i.e. selling, and there's no buy side. No buy side, more and more sellers. What happens to a price when the demand drops, but the supply jumps up? Anyone want to guess? All right, let's go. Basic Economics 101. What happens to the price when the supply increases and the demand drops? All right, so we're going to bust out our graph here, I think. Buena, buena. So some old Los Lobos. Buena, buena, buena. And a senorita por usted. Such a good. La pistola y corazón. So that was taking Chloe back to UGA. All right, so we got supply going up. We got demand going down, and I'm not going to remember how to draw this on a graph, but and I can't remember my basic macroeconomics. But when supply goes up and demand goes down, this is the buy side, this is the sell side. Prices fall, says Mark Keller. Mark Keller obviously did not go to an Ivy League, because if he did, he would not have known that. He certainly didn't go to the London School of Economics, because if he did, he would not have known that. Basic common sense. Because 100%. And for people got cash, cash is king, baby. So so remember, when the prices go down, there's a reason for that. And a lot of times the reason is forced in terms of government policy, man. No other way around that. In that case, it says, hey, at the end of the day, Music City's at the bargain bin. Yeah, right, oh man. All right, let's keep going. So I thought I got rid of Hot Girls Here guy. Jeez, all right. Oh, I guess I did. Cool. I never said don't buy silver and gold. Not once I ever said that. Why do people say, so if you don't like X, that means you like Y? I don't get that. That's weird to me. I never said don't go buy that. Government spending as a percent of GDP is at 2008 levels. Just saying. Okay, so I don't know what you're just saying, first of all, because I didn't say anything before that. But you're just saying that. What does that mean exactly? Government spending as a percentage of GDP. Just saying. You literally did not say anything. I think I have I think I have an idea what my man is saying. Government spending a percentage of GDP. Let's see if he talk about it. Silver and gold's a loser for what? What is going on here, man? We had a new group of people here. Silver and gold's a loser in what regard? Weird. Bring it, show right on, man. Right on, Carson. She'll never do it. I'm not mad for asking the question. Stop listening to stupid noise, though, dude. No one. This is what I'm saying. Next month there'll be the repo market again. The month after that, the Dubai debt crisis. You don't look like you're that young. So you've had to been around before to recognize what these guys do. They feed you off. It's called fear porn. They do it. The financial media is almost as bad as the mainstream media. It's crazy. Now look, if it bleeds, it leads. Anyone who's went to any basic journalism course knows that. And when it bleeds, is, oh my goodness, we're all gonna die, which we all gonna die. Shh! Don't tell anybody this. Shh! Shh! Breaking news. If you eat carrots, don't tell the YouTube algorithm I said that. It's between us. If you eat carrots, you will die. Breaking news. Don't tell anybody. Let's just put it on the front page. That way people say, what? If I eat carrots, I'll die? Yes. Did you know there's an outbreak of salmonella because of backyard chickens? There is? The CDC said it. What? Boy, don't look at the data. Just listen to the headline. There's an outbreak of salmonella. What happened? 2 people who raised chickens in the backyard got sick from eating their chickens. That's an outbreak. What? Really? Yeah, it is. Oh, that's it? Yeah. But no one reads the headline. No one reads the article. They just read the headline. The headline says outbreak of salmonella in backyard chickens. According to the CDC. Oh, better get rid of those backyard chickens. Salmonella is going to kill me. Just saying, man. Did you know? People thought there'd be a 10% fatality, IFR, infected fatality rate. Then they dropped it to 5. Then they dropped it to 3. Then they kept dropping and dropping and dropping. I was getting Chloe one of her prescriptions today. Oh, speaking of which, let's say a quick prayer for Chloe. Heavenly Father, I just thank you for Chloe. Today is her birthday, the big 19. 19 years ago tonight. Yes, about a little bit later than this, not much later. We got the news that Chloe was going to be at the University of Virginia. We had no clue what was going to happen to her. No clue. It was scary, God. But that was a day. That was the best day of my life. And I'm just grateful for her coming through and just being the kid she is. And I just thank you, Lord, for all your abundance. And I pray for all people who are loving somebody that someone's gone for whatever reason. I just pray for them. I pray for them to find it in their heart to move on. I pray in Jesus' name, amen. So today's Chloe's birthday, and it was 19 years ago today, about 2 hours from now. Aaron Boone from the New York Yankees had hit that home run. Was it that night or the night before? I can't remember. Anyway, to win against the Red Sox, and I can't remember. But it was all connected, and so I think it was the night before. Chloe goes to the hospital. Charlotte's giving birth, and then they take her. I don't think they helicopter medevaced her, but they medevaced her to UVA because she had ventricular tachycardia, which is no one as a baby has that. So everyone thought no, it was turned out to be that. Anyway, so I'm at home with Maddie. I put Maddie to bed. I have to call down the University of Virginia NICU. That's where Chloe was. Charlotte's, not freaking out, but they took her daughter from her, you know what I'm saying? And she's like, I just need to know how she's doing. So I called down to UVA, and I'll never forget. Joanne answered. I'll never forget this. And I know she's a stressed out woman, all that. I get it. But she was very curt with me. And Chloe hadn't even checked in. I was like, I just want to make sure my daughter's down there because they just medevaced her there. And she goes, what's her account number? I said, I don't have an account number. Her name's Chloe Scanlon. I don't even think we had a social security number yet. I can't remember, but I just remember I said, I don't know. And anyway, she's like, well, I can't help you until I have an account number. I said, what? I said, look, lady, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have an account number. Anyway, it was weird. I guess she's trying to protect the innocent. I get all that, but I was like, we don't even know if she's, they just took her down there like 2 hours ago and we haven't heard from anybody. And I can't remember what happened. If she said call back, I can't remember how it went. But anyway, I got off the phone and I just fell to my knees and I just was crying like a big old baby because I was like, it's all out of my control. It's all out of my control. I literally don't know who took Chloe. I mean, it could have been freaking Russian gangsters. I have no clue. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea. Charlotte has no idea where her daughter is. I didn't even get to hold Chloe yet. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a chance to hold her. I got Maddie, who's 3 years old, over here. We had 2 dogs back then, and they were both just like, what the hell is going on? Because, anyway, and it was so the most stressful I've ever been. I just fell to my knees, crying like a big old baby, and I said a prayer. I just said a prayer. And out of nowhere, man, Holy Spirit said, don't worry. It's going to be okay. It wasn't like the clouds opening. I've told you this before. It was just in my brain. And it was literally, I was there like as real as this cup is real. And I said, Holy Spirit didn't say, don't worry, Chloe's going to be okay. It said, don't worry, it will be okay. I can't remember if it said have faith. I don't think so. I just can't remember. I just remember, don't worry, it'll be okay. And it was like this peace flowed over me like I've never felt in my life. No promise of good. I was, no promise of driving a Cadillac Escalade. No promise of Chloe making it through. Nothing. Just don't worry, it'll be okay. I will never ever forget that. And that was the best thing that ever happened because that right there, I knew there's a God right there. What I'm saying, supernatural being, creator of all things. And I knew there was a God. And it was crazy because I've heard so many people tell me similar stories, man. You know what I'm saying? Like this, it's not a coincidence. People say, "Oh, it's your chemical reaction, trying a defensive mechanism." I said, "No, there's these. Whatever. I can't prove it. I can't prove it. But whatever. It's all good. I just don't get why people are so quick. I remember once these people had a client in their house. They were Jewish, and they weren't practicing, but they weren't like Steven Spielberg Jewish, which is just he's just using it as a shield. They were Jewish, but not like Orthodox necessarily, but Uh, it was weird. I don't know what it was, but I remember her sitting and she was nice, really nice people. I remember her telling me like, "Oh, that's just a brain doing a defensive practice, a defensive, basically taking a defense to protect you." And I was like, I don't buy that for 2 seconds flat. Because I told her, I said, "Man, you don't understand. It wasn't like like it was real as this cup is real. It's just that simple. And if it's my brain taking a defensive mechanism, well, that was real, man. And something happened in my brain which caused that to happen. Either way, there's something that sparked that. I don't know what it is. Well, I mean, I do is God. You know what I'm saying? And I'll never forget that, man. To the day I die, I'll remember that because it's how powerful that was. And you hear other people with similar stories. You're like, yeah. And oh, it's interesting though. Going back along the lines of this guy right here. Buena, buena, buena. Nothing on the. I want to show you something here. How this guy was again James Jeans, who's the father of the British cosmology with Arthur Eddington. You all might be familiar with Eddington. Anyway, I want to show you something here real quick. Yeah, right here. He was an agnostic Freemason. I had to chuckle at that Freemason. I said, shocking. Anyway, let's keep going here. Idealism, right here. The stream of knowledge is heading towards a non-mechanical reality. The universe begins to look more like a great thought than like a great machine. Mind no longer appears to be an accidental intruder in the realm of matter. We ought rather to hail it as the creator and the governor of the realm of matter. I thought that was interesting. I kind of agree with that. Mind no longer appears to be an accidental intruder in the realm of matter. It is actually the creator and the governor of the realm of matter. I incline to the idealistic theory that consciousness is fundamental and that the material universe is derivative from consciousness. So material universe is derivative from our consciousness, not consciousness from the universe. In general, the universe seems to me to be nearer to a great thought than the great machine. It may well be that each individual consciousness ought to be compared to a brain cell in a universal mind. I just so much thing here, man. What remains is any case with very different from the full-blooded matter and forbidding materialism of the Victorian scientist. His objective in material universe is proved to consist of little more than constructs of our minds. To this extent, then, modern physics has moved in the direction of philosophical idealism. Modern physics has moved toward this direction of philosophical idealism. It's still there today. Mind and matter, if not proved to be of similar nature, are at least found to be ingredients of a single system. There is no longer room for the kind of dualism which has haunted philosophy since the days of Descartes or whatever that guy. Anyway, I just so much stuff in here. Right, I gotta read this. Oh, this here is huge. Finite picture whose dimensions are a certain amount of space and a certain amount of time. The protons and electrons are the streaks of paint which define the picture against the space-time background. Traveling as far back in time as we can brings us not to the creation of the picture, but to its edge. Remember, this is around the same time that Hubble was around, all right, where he found things were moving away from us. Traveling as far back in time brings us not to the creation of the picture, but to its edge. The creation of the picture lies as much outside the picture as the artist is outside his canvas. The creation of the picture of the universe lies as much outside the universe as the artist is outside the canvas. On this view, discussing the creation of the universe in terms of time and space is like trying to discover the artist in the action of painting by going to the edge of the canvas. I'm going to discover who the artist is and what the action of the painting is by going to the edge of the canvas. Discussing the creation of the universe in terms of time and space is like that. This brings us very near to those philosophical systems which regard the universe as a thought in the mind of its creator, thereby reducing all discussion of material creation to futility. Man, what a great, again, this is an agnostic, but what a great, that one was the best quotes I've ever heard in my life. Discussing the creation of the universe in terms of time and space is like trying to discover the artist and the action of his painting by going to the edge of the canvas. Man. Anyway, so these people who live in the realm of everything has an answer, there's got to be an answer. We don't necessarily believe in supernatural beings. The laws of nature don't allow for resurrection and stuff like that. Out of body experiences that, it's all. I'm telling you, man, it's crazy in a wonderful way. In a wonderful way. It was literally today, 19 years ago, about 2 hours from now. And all of a sudden, and look, I was somewhat, I was raised in America, so inherently we default to Christianity. My grandparents were staunch Catholics, and my parents weren't, but I got baptized when I was 12. Anything else I never did. Anything else before that was all on my own. Anything else after that religiously was all on my own, but we're still in the realm of Christianity in the West. So that's our default. You know what I'm saying? And just so, but I always felt at one with Jesus, but not more. Not anything that was crazy, not crazy, not anything more than just hey, Jesus is my friend kind of thing. God is my co-pilot, if that makes sense. Not that sounds. I'm lessening. I still had a spiritual component to Jesus. So let's put it that way. But October 16th, 2003, about 10:30 at night, boom, it all changed. And the crazy thing is, it all changed. I'm still just as bad as a sinner as I was back then. And that's all right. Anyway, so going back to my man here, stop listening to noise. The noise, what are you going to do? Hold on, just do something real quick. Look, I don't mean to sound like I'm bashing old David here. David, is that his name? Yeah, David Keelan. I'm not trying to bash your brother. The noise is not your friend. The noise sells tickets. That's what happens. Why do you think in the boxing matches, they have the guys up on each other, spitting on each other, acting like they're all pissed off at each other? Why do you think they do that? You think they do that because controversy, what's the word of battle, that sells. Hot chicks sells. Why do you think so many YouTubers have hot chicks on their freaking thumbnails? Hell, I've seen a couple homesteading thumbnails with hot chicks. I'm like, I don't like that at all, dude. You know what I'm saying? Hot chick sells. In fact, we were watching football today, and I said, and they had some floozies on there. I told Liam, I said, I hate the fact they bring these ladies who are all blonde, all fake blonde, all cute, and just wearing short skirts. I said, I just, it's one thing if they're going to do, I don't know, fashion or something, but I don't want to talk football. Give me a flipping break. If you got to wear short shorts and short skirts and slinky outfits and, show your boobs to talk football, I don't want anything it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. But I get it. Men are attracted to that. I get it. I don't want to hear my football from that kind of stuff, though. It's silly. It's embarrassing, and they shouldn't do it. I'm embarrassed those chicks who feel like they got to sell their bodies to get attention like that. If they want to be, what's that lady's name who just left Monday Night Football? Pam Oliver. Is it Pam Oliver? No, Tafoya. I think Pam Oliver left, but Tafoya, forgot her name. They didn't. Pam was pretty pretty. I don't remember Tafoya being all that, but anyway, they didn't do it from their looks. You know what I'm saying? And maybe Pam got the job because she was pretty good looking. And I don't remember the other lady. I don't think she's not attractive. But she wasn't sitting there. Look at my boobs, everybody. Her fake blonde hair, and it's just a lady who seemed like football, sports. What the hell's her name? Anyone remember that lady's name? Apparently she's Republican, or at least she's anti-woke. Michelle Tafoya. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Father Stew. I never heard of that, Marie. Give us more. Anyway, so David, you're still on here. I apologize. I came across. I hate the noise because the noise is so flippin' stupid, and all it does is get people to make bad decisions. And if you came on here looking for a moderate voice against the noise, I am not a moderate by any stretch of the imagination. I'm a radical anti-noise making machine. That's a fact because they oh, look at Denise. Denise literally died. She literally died. And yet there she, how could she be dead and still be talking to us? It's a miracle without question. Miracle. Some attributed modern science, Western science. But how was Western science evolved? The brain, which was created by whom? By the big guy upstairs. It's amazing. Cody and I were just talking today, like, what is it with what we're talking about? Oh, monarch butterflies. like they'll kill animal bugs or whatever that eats them. Isn't that crazy? A monarch butterfly. You're like, how does like, so what happens is, like I'll just a freaking owl grab a monarch butterfly and go to his, owl den and say, hey, owls, gather around. I'm going to eat this monarch butterfly. And then when he eats the monarch butterfly, he dies. And everyone says, oh, I'm never going to eat another monarch butterfly. And they spread that out, through all the owl world. And then it just happens to be, the owls over, the course of generations, they just said, don't touch the monarch butterfly because, Grampy the owl ate one. I mean, how does that work? And yet they know not to eat the monarch butterfly, even though they're freaking, they don't kill us, but they kill animals. Isn't that weird, man? Crazy. We're talking about, zebras. The hell? What the hell's up with the zebra? Black and white stripes, they're in the jungle or in the desert, one of those two places. But it's like, why would it's a horse with black and white stripes? You can't get any less camouflage with black and white than against freaking, the jungles or the desert. What the hell's that about, man? I'm sitting there thinking, that doesn't make any sense. And like a giraffe, you got the big old neck. We're like, yeah, to get the stuff up there, but it's like, why? What's crazy? Oh, here's another guy talking about fathers too. All right. Good, man. Fight. And then on top of that, these butterflies have eyes on their wings. And one they each has an eye on each. It's crazy. It's awesome. It's nature. Oh, Chloe was telling me too, like she was studying about Mount St. Helens. And she said Mount St. Helens had the magnitude of, I can't remember, like 500 Hiroshimas or something like that. Isn't that crazy? And we think we can blow the world apart. I just the arrogance of man. Oh yeah, we can nuke. We can blow up the world. No, we can't. No, we can't. And again, I said this, and I don't know if my man Rob's here, but just a run of the mill hurricane, just a run of the mill. Not even what happened to Ian. Just run of the mill hurricane has the equivalent of power of 40 nuclear bombs. And we're not talking about A bombs. Like they did in Hiroshima, if that even happened. We're talking about I'm not even sure I believe in all this anymore. But frankly, we're talking about the modern nuclear weaponry. That's a run of the mill hurricane. Isn't that crazy? Now, what Rob's argument was, and rightly, is that, yeah, but the hurricane is dispersed over a length of time. Well, not really dispersed over Southwest Florida. I mean, that sucker. And if you look at what happened in Dresden, you look at what happened all over Japan, you look at some other places, we bombed the hell out of. That was just basic, TNT, not even using supposedly the A bomb. The evidence of Hiroshima being A bombed it starts becoming less and less if you dive into it. Nagasaki, maybe. Hiroshima, though, you're like, a lot of fishing is going on there in Hiroshima. Very strange. I invite you to take time to just say, do we really A-bomb Hiroshima? And just dive into that a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Look at my man, Tim. And we'll change climate by driving EVs. It's insane. Insane. In fact, I shared with you last live stream how these people, I think it was Australia, said, hey, mates, hey, why don't you not use your air condition tonight? Because we're trying to charge our electric vehicles, and it's only so much grid, so much that the grid can hold. So if you use your AC at the same time we're using our electric vehicle charging, we're gonna basically break a circuit. Crazy. I think I don't buy it for 2 seconds. I think it's at least Hiroshima. I haven't looked too deep in Nagasaki. You know what I'm saying? But Hiroshima, yeah. Yes, exactly, Vern. Exactly. They lost it. Just like freaking the telemetry data from the moon landing and the original moon landing documents, videos. And even Buzz Aldrin, not once, not twice, but thrice, at least that we have recordings of that people can find, said, we never went. You didn't see it. We never went. Crazy. They lost it. And the guy, I don't want to get to that right now, but it's amazing. Just do some research on it. People are like, what? And once you start researching, you're like, wait a second. If they can lie about that, what else are they lying about? And it's not going to make you a happy camper. I always said Oklahoma City was fishy, man. It was fishy. But I don't want to be called a conspiracy theorist. And then 9/11 happened. I just said, okay. You know what I'm saying? No, there's so much more to be said. Right. I want to talk about politics here. I thought it'd be fun. Because we got some stuff coming down the pike. I thought this would be kind of fun, because people are financial planning and politics. Yeah, financial planning and politics. It's crazy, huh? Because taxes are political. Taxes help financial planning or part of financial planning. Let's see. I wanted to go. Hold on a sec. I wanted to go here. First and foremost, this is pretty cool. We're going to go to taxfoundation.org. We're going to go. All right. Then we go state tax reform enacted in 2022. This is pretty good stuff here, guys. If a lot of good things happen. Remember, this is when. Hold on a second. Let me just stop sharing for just a second. Do this for just a second. Do that for just a second. Did I eject it? Yes, I did. I think. Blink. Yeah. All right. Oops. All right. So what I want to do, I got to turn the fan on. Hi, Pablo. You're a good boy. Ouch. Oy. Go here. All right. So this, I have to remember, the Democrats controlled everything in the U.S. Congress and the executive branch. All right. Yet 10 states enacted individual tax rate reductions. 6 states enacted corporate tax reductions. Oklahoma, that doesn't matter to us, but 2 states permanently exempted groceries from sales tax. 5 states suspended their tax on gas. Whatever. 11 states chose to return surplus revenue through direct tax rebates. Interesting, huh? So let's take a look here. Individual income tax reduction. Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, New York. That's returning surplus back. Montana, Idaho, Arizona. Look at all this. Wisconsin, Indiana. All right, pretty good. Rate reduction enacted and implemented in 2021. We got to do the asterisk. Idaho. Looks like Idaho, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Missouri, Iowa, Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee. I'm not sure what they would have done. Florida. But you can see, I can't see the asterisks. But anyway, a lot of individual income tax right here. Colorado State Income Tax Reduction Initiative. I guess that's coming up. Oh, right here. Colorado, you could retroactively reduce the flat income tax from 4.5 to 4.4. Not a huge one, but hey, better going down 15 basis points than going up. On January 24, Georgia will transition from a graduated income tax with a top rate of 5.75 to a flat one with 5.5. The rate could decrease to 4.99 and 20. See, this is where it's stupid. Why are they pushing that out so far? It doesn't make any sense. But it does make. The personal exemption will increase from $7,400 to $1,850. That is huge. $7,400. That's a 250% in standard deduction or / personal exemption. That's huge. Look at that. For singles, the personal exemption will increase from $2,700 to $12,000. That's huge. So while the income tax rate isn't going down much, the personal exemption, that's how you do it, Republicans. You want a lower income tax, you raise the standard exemptions and standard deductions and personal exemptions. The Democrats can't get you on that. They can't get you on that. That's how you do it. Is it really worth going from 5.75 to 5.49? A quarter, I'll take it. Is it really worth political capital to do that? No. So what you do is you spend your political capital on other things that are more controversial, all the while you're raising the standard deduction, the personal exemption. That's huge, dudes. Idaho reduces top bracket to 6.5 from 6.5 to 6. It reduces second from 3.1 to 3. See, this is stupid right here because it's saying, hey, we're going to give the rich people a bigger reduction than the middle class people. That doesn't make. Why waste your political capital on that? That doesn't make sense. Indiana enacted reduce the flat income tax from 3.23 to 3.15. Okay, I don't like the subsequent revenue triggers. I don't like that. Hawkeye State will go from a gradual income tax structure to a flat tax by 2026. That's good. They'll have a, let's see, by 2026, you have a flat taxable 3.9%. That's fantastic. All right. Mississippi will eliminate its current 4% individual income tax bracket. All right. This will, okay. Nebraska will reduce its top individual tax bracket by a full percentage point, well, in 5 years. All right. But drop by 20 basis points each year. I hope they're doing more than just a top individual one, because that does not look, that's not politically appealing if the only thing you're reducing is your top. I don't care about North Carolina. Utah's bad on taxes, dude. It lowered its and Utah governor sucks. Oh, horrible, man. That guy is a clown. Oh, Utah. What's his name? Like Sterling or Spencer or something like that. Oh, what are you doing? He's horrible. Guarantee he never dug a ditch. Anyway, they're going to reduce it from 4.95 to 4.85. Wow. All right. So, I mean, either way, still, we'll take what we can get. All right. So now I want to go into Ballotpedia and let's see what's happening here. Shall we? Good Ballotpedia 2020. This is where it's going to get fun. Oops. Cool. That was taxfoundation.org. Taxfoundation.org. Now we're going to go to Ballotpedia. All right. Jill says she didn't get an income state where there's an Indiana. Oh, yeah. How dare you say that, Jill? How dare you? You can't say that. All elections are clean and fair. All elections are, unless Stacey Abrams lose, and then it's not. All right. So I want to show you something. So all U.S. House of Representatives are up. The Republicans are going to take back the House. That's a slam dunk. We're going to take back the House. The sad thing is Republicans are going to take back the House, and then they're going to put Kevin McCarthy as a speaker. That guy's a clown. Kevin McCarthy and Frank Luntz, let's just put it this way, they're madly in love, if you know what I'm saying, madly in love. And Frank Luntz is a clown, and inherently Kevin McCarthy is a clown too. Do I want him better than Nancy Pelosi? Of course. I don't know why the Republicans. I just, don't forget Kevin McCarthy put Liz Cheney, as one of the top 3 people in the Republican Party leadership until he got big pushback when she voted to impeach Trumpster. This is their lack of. They had their political leanings are what Frank Luntz tells them. And Frank Luntz is a clown. He says, well, I'll tell you what Pfizer tells me to tell you. I'll tell you what friggin' Tom Donahue over the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the bankers tell me to tell you. I'll tell you that. It's freaking sick. Frank Luntz is a clown. These guys are scum bags. Why Republicans follow these people, I don't know. But I really do know. It's because Republicans are part of the machine, dude. The machine doesn't care if the Republicans win or the Democrats win. The machine just cares that they win, and they win either way by and large. Trump, I go back on this back and forth, but more likely than not, Trump was the fly in the ointment, but for a short amount of time. I'm still not quite convinced of that, to be honest. I'm still not quite convinced, but be it as it may. There isn't that many Republicans out there. They're going to take the mantle of the MAGA populists. I know it sounds like they are, but they do that for political expediency, man. That's it. Just like the Democrats, their Black Lives Matter. They say what they got to say to keep the blacks off their backs, and then the minute the Black Lives Matter is obviously shown for what the scam it was, then the Democrats are right back on the line. Yeah, it's the Republicans do the same thing. So the whole thing is crazy, and we fall for it. With that said, at the end of the day, I support the Republicans because they respect my right to firearms. That's not going to change probably for at least 20 years, I wouldn't think. I think for 20 years, we've had solidified the Second Amendment in Republican. It's kind of like we solidified tax cuts in Republican ideology, and we pulled the Democrats along with that. The Second Amendment, we've solidified that in Republican ideology, and we'll certainly pull the Democrats in on that too. So a couple wins we've had is the Second Amendment and tax cuts. Not many, but those are two of the big ones. Really, I can't think of a whole lot else the Republicans have. They certainly haven't. The Democrats pulled us more on the LGBT stuff and on the abortion stuff. Because see, this what happens is once you stop playing around and playing nice, you say no, our rights are not for sale, and that's exactly what the LGBT did. Now they went too far in the pendulum, and they're going to lose because of that. But that's how it works, man. You say no, these aren't negotiable. And what happens is when you start winning a couple election cycles, because you get people that recognize, oh, this guy's serious. These are not negotiable. The Second Amendment, in particularly, tax cuts in particularly. Then all of a sudden you start saying, the other party says, "Ooh, I might need to kind of join on that. I don't want to be as extreme as that, but I might need to say, hey, it's okay to have a shall issue for a Glock, for instance. I'm not going to try to ban handguns anymore." Now, no Democrats talking about that anymore. I mean, some are, but not very many. Point being is that's what happens, man. You stay firm. You say these are not negotiable. Because if you say they're negotiable, a la George H.W. Bush and we won't raise taxes, and then you negotiated, you're the fool because you raised taxes, even though you told your base you won't. Yeah, you said I'll tell Congress I won't, but Congress doesn't. Congress wants to raise taxes. And if they got to take you out to get you to do their bidding, which is exactly what happened to George H.W. Bush, it sucks for you, Bush. You know what I'm saying? You suck. 100%. But that's the thing. Wayne LaPierre and the NRA said no more. We're not negotiating anymore. This is where this is a hill to die on in 1998. And Wayne LaPierre says Bill Clinton is willing to accept a certain level of violence to pass gun control. 100% right. Some Republicans had the guts to say it about a black president. It was crazy. Of course, they were called racist, but those Republicans said, hey, our rights to firearms are also black rights too, you freaking fools. So when we protect the dignity of a firearm ownership, we're not protecting for white men. We're protecting for everybody. And the people who need it most are actually not even white men. They're women minorities in these freaking gangsterville cities. That's what we will protect. And that's at some point, the Democrats got the message and they gave up on that. So it's just not worth fighting. And what happened with LGBT? They fought some battles. They lost. The Republicans would never put up a good fight on that. What they did is they said, we'll let the courts figure it out. The courts will rule in our favor because they did. The Republicans we voted many times in terms of state right constitutions not to have, gay marriage and all that. And LGBT kept at it. Say, we're not negotiating. Kept at it. And the Republicans said, we'll just let the courts do it. And of course, the courts, the courts are political animals, just like politicians. And the courts said no. And after Oberg fell, and then whatever the one was to allow gay marriage with Anthony Kennedy. Anyway, the point being is this: what happens? You got to stand firm, and you take your wins where you can get them, but you don't waste political capital on stupid stuff like Bush trying to privatize Social Security in the middle of the Iraq War. It's just dumb. All right, so anyway, we got a couple of things here. So we got 435 seats up for U.S. House of Representatives. The Republicans will win. We'll get Kevin McCarthy as our freaking Speaker of the House, and he's really going to go at him. He's going to say, who knows what that was going to say. We want to help entrepreneurs, or we're going to help Zelensky. Who knows? I mean, but look, at the end of the day, it's still better than the Democrats. No other way around. Now, here's a big one, the Senate. I don't think we're going to win. I don't think we're going to take that. I think there's a lot of people who think they're going to take that. I don't think so. Let's see what we got here for the Senate. I want to go map this. Yeah, right here. All right. So I don't think we're going to take the Senate. Let's see. All right. And I'll tell you why. We're going to lose right here. We're going to lose Pennsylvania. I know that guy Fetterman. Everyone's like, he's a clown. He's not there. Literally, he's not there. His wife's running the show, and his wife wants investigation. And anyone who says he has a stroke, he's not very. He lost his brain. He has. There's a Democratic governor in Pennsylvania, and the Republicans have not done enough in the state legislature to oversee that the clean and fair elections that happen in Philadelphia will be dealt with. They just haven't, and as such, the Democrats are going to win that seat. They'll take it out from the Republicans. because you have. But with that said, in Georgia, we're going to win this going away. Even though we had a Republican Secretary of State and a Republican governor who saw the clean and fair election in Fulton County, they did nothing about it. But they solidified some of the stuff. The state legislature more so than I've read in Pennsylvania. So I think there'll be less here in Georgia than in Pennsylvania. And because this race is tight enough, it doesn't take much. Just takes a couple precincts in Philadelphia, and that goes blue, 100%. I'm sad to say, I think Wisconsin the same thing. The only guy we've had, I've sent Ron Johnson money. The only guy we've had fighting the Faucis. I know everyone says Paul Rand or Rand Paul. Ron Johnson, without question, has been the best advocate for us. And he'll go down. I don't even think it'll be that close, frankly. I think we'll probably lose 52-48, which isn't even that close. I literally haven't watched any polls. Race, I don't buy this for 2 seconds. Don't forget they got a governor as the Democrats, a governor in there. I'm not sure what they said in terms of getting policed up the in Madison County or Madison. In Milwaukee, the fair and clean election stuff, my inclination is probably not much, frankly. So I would expect Ron Johnson to lose. Sabato can kiss my butt. The fact he's saying he has a lean R, that's weird. I don't buy that for 2 seconds. I don't buy that. I think we're going to lose those two. I think we'll win Ohio going away. We'll keep that. I think J.D. Vance is not. I don't bet that one can be close. I think we'll win. I think Herschel will win 52-48. I think Brian Kemp's going to smoke Stacey Abrams. Were the votes for Brian Kemp? Will they go to Herschel? The majority will. I'm not sure. It's weird. I don't think there's going to be a lot of split tickets this year. I don't think. If you're voting for Brian Kemp, I can't imagine you not voting for Herschel. But I don't know, man. I mean, I can't. There's someone in my family who, a younger lady, and she was taken in by this ads against Herschel about being a violent crook and all this stuff. And I said, I can't believe, by his son. And I said, I can't believe you're falling for that crap. But, I said, Maddie, don't you, I guess gave it away. I said, don't you know that literally the month before he said all this stuff, he was like, I'm proud to introduce my dad, Herschel Walker, the next senator of Georgia. What a great man. And then literally a month later, he's saying how bad his dad was. So come on, he's always been blackmailed. He's a preacher. He probably did some stuff, fiddling and diddling. I don't know. They probably got some stuff on him. They say, if you don't go against Herschel, we're going to let your church or whoever the hell you preach to know about your inconsistencies, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, so I think we're going to win. I just don't think it'll be as close as Kemp versus Stacey Abrams. Warnock has actually run a pretty good campaign, man. I tell you, his ads are good. There's no other way around that. Stacey Abrams had a pretty good ad I just saw. That was actually pretty good. I think it's too late though. Yeah, she was running some pretty brutal ads that I didn't think had any effect whatsoever. I think people are sick of Stacey Abrams, frankly. Kemp has run some better ads against Abrams than Abrams ran against Kemp. And Warnock, his ads are good. I mean, he comes across as a likable guy. It's just ads. He just seems like he's trying to be a middle of the road guy. We know he's not, but he's come across okay. I don't think too many Kemp voters will vote for Warnock, but I think some will. And so, I think Kemp will probably win by 8. I think Herschel by 4. I don't think Marco Rubio has any chance of losing there. Actually, what do they got this right here? They all say toss up. I don't think it's going to be a toss up at all. I think North Carolina. I think is an open seat. You lose anytime it's an open seat. You lose the power of incumbency. I would not be surprised if the Republicans held that. I don't even know who the candidate is, but an open seat, Richard Byrd sucks. The other guy from North Carolina, Tom Tillis, sucks. I think a lot of Republicans are going to be disenfranchised or not enthusiastic. But this is the thing about the benefits of the off-year elections. You get so pissed off. It's called broken glass elections. You're so pissed off. You'll walk over broken glass to cast a vote, even if for a clown. Actually, who is running? Let's see here. I gotta go down here. We'll 1 second. Let's go Senate. Who is running in North Carolina? All right. North Carolina is who? All right. Election, Senate, general election. Okay, so we got Sherry Beasley and Ted Budd. Who the hell? I don't know any of these people. All right, Sherry Beasley. All right, so she's black, woman, Democrat. All right, she was a judge in the North Carolina Supreme Court. All right, there you go. So she's all right. So she's a Democrat running against Ted Budd. Oh boy. And last poll, they had her beating Budd by 4, but but at least as likely voters. Survey USA notorious for being lame. The least as likely voters. The polls here don't matter. They just it's silly. But let's see, Ted Budd. Who's this guy? I've never heard of Ted Budd. Again, doesn't mean anything. But let's see. He's a member of the U.S. House. Okay. He just won one term. Wait. Why would he's a member of the U.S. House? He assumed office in 2017, but his term ends in 2023. Oh, okay, I got you. So, okay, he's won two times. Okay, gotcha. Let's see. Yeah, Richard Burke and freaking go pound sand. All right. Is the owner of a gun range and store in Rural Hall, North Carolina. All right, man. That's what I'm talking about. Good. So maybe so I'm not sure. I don't know if he's a Trumpster or not. But anyway, good. So I'm liking old Ted Budd. Let's hope he pulls that one out. That'd be huge. My inclination is Ted Budd is better than Dick Burris, Richard Burris, clown. Oh gosh, the two North Carolinas. Oh gosh, like what happened, man? Because the Republican establishment controls the primary process. Remember, the Republicans and the Democrats are private businesses, my friends. They're private businesses. All right, so let's keep going. U.S. Senate seats up for election. All right, I'm not convinced we're going to keep North Carolina. I think we could lose that. So, what happened here? That's not what I want. I think we'll win Nevada. Let me just go back here. I want to show you something here. I think we'll lose. I think there's a good chance we're going to lose. Hey, all right. Map. That's what I want. I think there's a good chance we're going to lose. Where'd it go, man? Just had a map. I want to see the map. Yeah, right there. A map of seats up for election. Where's the map? That's not the map. All right, I guess we'll go down them. I think we're going to end up. I think we'll lose Arizona. That's a Democrat right now. We're not going to pick that one up. I think we are going to pick up. Right. I think we're going to pick up Nevada. And I think we're going to lose Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, North Carolina. I think we'll pick up Nevada and Georgia. So we'll have a net loss of 1, I think. We're not going to lose Florida. We're certainly not going to win any of the Colorado. There's an outside chance we could pick up Colorado. I'm not sure I'm buying that, though. I don't think we're going to make it through the gate of Arizona. Outside chance we pick up Colorado. I mean, there's a chance I think there's a better than outside chance we take Arizona. I don't think so. A good thing is Alaska. It looks like Murkowski could be going down, which would be huge. Replacing. So, I mean, think about it. This is a bad year for Senates for the Republican Party. We have 3 very tight races. Well, actually 4 when you think about it. For Republicans to retain, we got North Carolina. Let me go back. We got North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. 3 tough ones to retain right there. All right, so we have those 3 to retain. We got, but we can take out. I think we're going to take out Georgia. I think we're going to take out Nevada. So that's net. We lost 1. But at the end of the day, we're also going to take out, hopefully, Murkowski in Alaska. And I know she's somewhat of she's not a Republican. She's not. She's Liz Cheney, part 2 for the Senate. So, end of the day, in terms of voting, we're going to have it'll be basically a wash, I think, and I think that's a win for the Republicans. I think the Democrats will have 51-49, but we'll have 49 better Republicans than we have sitting here today, even though it's 50-50 right now, supposedly 50-50. So we get rid of Tom Tillis, we get rid of Warnock, whoever the con is in Nevada, I can't remember the name. We get rid of them, but then we're going to lose Ron Johnson, which sucks. Toomey's gone. Toomey's a clown. And so we'll lose Tillis, we'll lose Toomey, and the big one will be Ron Johnson. We'll gain Herschel, we'll get rid of Murkowski, and we'll gain Nevada. We're still going to be netting, and it's a bad year for Republicans on the Senate map. Wait till 2024, dude. Woo, Nelly. 2024, the Republicans, if they don't jump the shark, and they could, we still have Mitch McConnell as our leader. Yeah. In 2024, if the Republicans don't jump the shark, let's take a look at what that map looks like. 2024. Well, it's going to change. It's only going to change for our benefit in 2024. Let's see here. We're going to go back. 2024. Just give us a map for 2024. Yeah, 2024. Look how the blue is going to be up. All this blue. And we got, because that's the stupid Sanders and stupid Angus King. Sanders is going to retire. Looks like Pat Leahy will retire because I think he's about to die. But anyway, look at all this blue. So we got Florida, we're going to retain that. Indiana will retain that. Tennessee will retain that. Mississippi will retain that. Missouri will retain that. Not going to be much of a fight. Any of these places right here. Utah, maybe. Mittens. There's one right now in Utah that looks like it's closer than it should be because stupid McGuffin is fighting again because he just loves to be part of the GOP establishment. We're not going to lose Texas. We're not going to lose Nebraska. So anyway, there's nothing on the map that's obviously as a takeover for the Democrats. Opportunity for Tester. I mean, his days are gone right there. West Virginia. I think Virginia might be better, more positioned. And we've always been thinking Wisconsin and right here, Minnesota. I'm not quite sure. We'll see how that shakes out. I don't know. And none of these up here. So anyway, but there's a lot of opportunity in the map for 2024. Good chance. Good chance. Sherrod Brown, great chance. I mean, we could probably pick up 8 seats in 2024 as long as we don't have a Jeb Bush candidate. I'm worried about DeSantis, not going to lie to you. All right, but I want to show you guys something. All right, so the Senate, I don't think we're going to take. I think the Republicans will probably win 25 seats in the House, maybe 30, which would be good. We'll take it. So we'll have some wiggle room where we don't have to rely on some squish in Fulton County, Georgia. But you'll know in Georgia, if Gwinnett County goes red, and it won't, but if it were to go pretty close red, Herschel Walker is going to win in a landslide without question. All right, so let's see what we got. I want to go to this, but the big stuff isn't even there. The big stuff is, let's see. I want to go to the states. Wait, am I on? Where am I on? I don't want to go to Congress. I want to go to, because watch this. Oh, state just right there. That's what I was looking for. All right there. I don't know. I think we have an outside chance here. I know a lot of people are stoked on Arizona. I'm not so sure. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be fun. Yeah, Burr. Rubio sucks. I take him. Don't get me wrong. Isn't Roy Blunt? He's leaving. Yes, he is. I think he's stepping down. Can't stand. So look at this. Oh, I forgot about. That's right. We're gonna replace Roy Blunt. Replace Murkowski. We're gonna replace Roy Blunt. Let's see what they're saying about those plays. Hold on just a second, amigos. Roy Blunt sucks. All right. Where's Georgia? Oh. I don't want that. All right, hold on a second. I want to. Just a second. Yeah, right. All right. I think Roy Blunt. Look at this. Oh, Portman. Oh, that's right. Oh, dude, I forgot. Oh, yeah. Look at this. I didn't know Leahy was retiring. Good. So there he goes. Oh, Shelby's going too. Ooh, who's running out? I didn't know that. All these guys. All these guys. Ooh, the Pub Band. Who's anyone know who's running Alabama? Is anyone in Alabama? What's going on in Alabama down there? Who's going to replace Shelby? Because Shelby is bad. I didn't know. I forgot Roy Blunt is the guy in Missouri. Is it Eric Schmidt? Is he replacing Blunt? I mean, if we can get rid of Burkowski, can y'all see this? Yeah. So if we got gone, regardless, I think we'll lose them. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's not a net win for losing these seats. But to have a second coming Republican coming up behind who's going to win at some point. I don't know about Pennsylvania. Portman, if we get JD Vance going to win. That's a huge win. Huge. Shelby, Roy Blunt. Oh, dudes. Roy Blunt is Schmidt. All right. Tim is Schmidt. He's pretty righteous, dude, isn't he? Yeah, Schmidt. There we go. Seems like Schmidt is okay. I got him in my head as being okay. So that's definitely a better Schmidt, better than freaking Blunt. Yeah, solid. How about Alabama? Anyone know Alabama? Who's running down there? Please tell me it's not that stupid governor Kay or whatever the hell her name is. She is horrible, horrible. All the smart people are getting jabbed. It's like, lady, do you have any sense of how politics works? You freaking idiot. I have to go back here and see who's running Alabama. All right, U.S. Senate. Well, let me give me a link here. Oops. There we go. No, that's not what I want, man. Good night. Hey. All right. It's gonna get me up here, Alabama. Yeah, right here. She's not a Republican. Murkowski's not a Republican. But the thing about Alaska, they got this crazy voting thing, which cost Sarah Palin the seat, which in itself didn't bother me so much. But I think Republicans got a warning shot to know how they vote next time, because the Democrats are better at politics. There's just no two ways around. That's what happens when you live through politics. You're going to be better at it. But the point being was Sarah Palin's team did not tell Republicans how this fractional voting reserve works. So hopefully they do. Yeah, my man Joe Miller right there. Murkowski was elected after losing to Joe Miller in the primary. I love Joe. Joe Miller kicked ass, dude. But the Republicans, I cannot stand the Murkowskis. Oh, so corrupt. So corrupt. I don't know anything about the Shabosky. I'm not sure who that is. Oh, I'd love to see Murkowski losing. The problem is she's going to get the Democrat vote too. That's the thing that sucks, dude. I mean, look, Murkowski took in 2002. Her dad was a senator from 1981. So Murkowski, it's such. We need to have things where you can't. They have these things against trust and perpetuity. We need to do the same thing with Senate seats, man. All right, let's go down to. I got Alabama up here. Okay, here we go. Oh, because it's open. Yeah. Right. Well, I don't know. Whatever. Let's see what else you guys got. Rank choice, yeah. Oh, Denise got to leave. Oh no. Yeah, I like Joe Miller. Denise got to go bye. Okay, good. All right, so that's good. Carson, we think Murkowski has a chance of going away, man. Yeah. Well, they're also better at just basic politics too, man. Like, my man Turtle Boy ran for city council in Worcester. He's like, it's crazy. You think of Republicans that you put up yard signs, and that's all you got to do, and say, "Hey, I'm the local Republican." He goes, "No, the Democrats actually go out there to literally force people to vote. It's crazy." Um, yeah, Jill, I don't trust her instincts. Sorry. I just don't. I'm saying that with all love, man. I just don't trust her instincts. I a lot of trust me. I see a lot of people on various websites say, "No, it's gonna be a red tsunami." I'm like, yeah, no. I mean, maybe. I doubt it though. Yeah, well, they're definitely dirty, but they hustle more too. I mean, come on. I would say I would fix your thing. Democrats aren't just dirty. They aren't just dirty, but they hustle more. I completely agree. Um, yeah, they're not. So let's amend your saying there. They aren't just dirty. They just hustle more. Yeah. Let's see. What's the far right, Vern? Give me what the far right is. I mean, who is the far right? I see. That's what I'm saying. Everyone, this is a cop out. Most of the U.S. are moderates and reasonable thinkers. The far left and far right have now the megaphones to give the illusion the far left and far right are the norm. I just want. We all know what the far left is. What is the far right? Who are these far righters that are running the Republican Party? Yeah, Herschel Walker smoked the man. Herschel Walker. Yep. Yeah. Herschel Walker. Yeah, but Washington. I mean, after I can't believe I can't remember his name. In '98, and he came back in 2002, and he got cheated out of it both times, which led the way to the new form of free and clear election. Dino Rossi, the Washington State says that we're never going to come close to that again, and they got it under wrap and key. How to make sure Dino Rossi or his ilk never comes close again. They used to have Blinky. I forgot that guy's name. Blinky was a senator up there, or was he in Oregon? I think he was in Washington, and he got trounced. Packwood was in Oregon, and then Blinky was in Washington. Packwood left because of handsy behavior towards women, which I'm fine with, but just weird. Chris Dodd, Ted Kennedy, Joe Biden. None of these people left. It's like, why Packwood and not? That's crazy. The point being, that's what I'm saying. This is what the Republicans do. They abandoned support for Packwood, where the Democrats freaking had. They said, they circled the wagon around Chris Dodd, Joe Biden, Ted Kennedy, and Clinton. And yet, we abandoned Packwood in 2 seconds flat. It's crazy, man. It's like that guy in Missouri, Todd something, who ran initially against Claire McCaskill. He said, he says something about rape and blah, blah, blah. And they all started saying, no, he shouldn't run. He shouldn't run. He should be. I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. The Democrats never do that. And then the stupid Roy Moore in Alabama. Oh, no, and all saying he shouldn't. I was like, why are we doing this? Why are we every single time the Democrats say, oh, my goodness, Roy Moore said something bad, thus he shouldn't run. Oh, you're right. We don't want him to run. We want something less controversial. Dude, Mitt Romney's was controversial. You freaking idiots. But you all just, because they live in the media. Frank Luntz, you don't want to have your reputation sullied in the New York Times, do you? Dude, you got an R next to your name. Of course it can be sullied in the New York Times. God almighty, it's so frustrating. You're like, dude, Roy Moore, we can't have him. It makes me look bad, like I'm a part of Redneck Hicks. Well, if that's who your base is, welcome to the club. You freaking idiots. I can't. It's the most insane thing. Bob Packwood, Roy Moore, Todd, whatever that guy's name is, and the list goes on and on and on about who people they abandoned because the Democrats are offended. It's insanity. It's insanity. That's why I think it's all set up. And I still fall for it. I'm still voting Republican. I'm not one of these guys that my vote, and I'm not going to vote. I'm still going to vote. It makes me feel better. And at the end of the day, I'd still rather have Republicans than Democrats. It's just a fact. Because my Second Amendment is the most there's no First Amendment without the Second Amendment, just FYI. And by the way, the Republicans are for more freedom than the Democrats. Look at what the pandemic. Yes, there were some kind of Republicans, many Republicans, Greg Abbott, Ducey, many Republicans, they did not do very well. They did not show themselves as the guy from Oklahoma. Many Republicans could have done a hell of a lot better. They could have gone to DeSantis, Brian Kemp, and Christie. I don't know what Christie fell is weird. She stood up against the mandates, and then the minute the 57 flavors came along, she freaking folded like a wetsuit. It's weird, man, or a cheap suit or whatever it is. I was like, "What, Christie? You took all the arrows, and the minute the freaking 57 flavors come, you just back down." It was the weirdest thing because they think it cost the North Carolina governor his seat because he stood up against Obama in 2014. I was like, man, are you guys that short sighted? Chrissy Nome, are you that short? Do you not think this pendulum is going to quickly turn and just destroy and obliterate everyone who's pushing it? Of course it's gonna. You can see this a mile away. When it comes to people's daughters, people don't play with that stuff, dude. You know what I'm saying? And when you start talking about like this lady in Virginia say we're going to take away children from parents who don't agree with the 57 flavors ideology, yeah, that those you're getting close to bad things happening. Now she quickly backtracked when she recognized even the Democrats aren't ready to go down that road. No, they will, but they're not yet. But anyway, the issue is this is what happens, man. The pendulum always swings too far. That's why with Vern saying the right wing is the far right, I'm like, who? Who is the far right? Kevin McCarthy, freaking Herschel Walker. God almighty, dude. Come on, stop this. I hate that crap. It's cop out. Oh yeah, I'm just a moderate guy. You know, I see the issue for what it is, not for the person. And I say, oh, really? Do you now? And it's weird because Vern is also the guy who challenged the idea of nuclear bombs dropping in Hiroshima. And I was like, Vern, I thought you'd get it. The fact you don't get it here, I'm like, dude, what's up, Vern? You're smarter than that. I'm just bashing on Vern because I hear it all the time. I just wish I'm just a moderate person. I choose the person, not the political party. Hey, what'd you think about the mandates? I was for it, but now I'm against it because everyone else is against it. But I was for it when everyone was for it. And I just want to travel. I just want the economy to open up and stop transmission. Was there any evidence that it stopped transmission? Well, that's what Fauci said. And he wears a white lab coat. So I listen to Fauci. And Francis Collins, he's so smart. The human genome, Josh, the human genome. Francis Collins, look how smart he is. Katie Britt. Ah, yes, right. It was Katie Britt. I'm not a big fan of her. Yeah, she's probably better than what's the name? Yes, right. No, no, no. She's not a good replacement. I forgot about her. Yep. They went. I forgot who the guy was running in the primary. They went after him hard, or her. I think it was him. Damn. That might be one I might not vote for Katie Britt. But she's going to be better than the Democrat. I'm not saying she's going to be better than Shelby, though. Man, that's a lost opportunity there. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. We got a clown for a governor in Alabama. You're going to get Katie Britt as a clown for a senator in Alabama. And then I forgot the other senator. Oh, it's the freaking guy who, the Auburn coach or whatever. And he seems all right, but nothing fancy. Bam. Then we got a clown for Thad in Mississippi. Katie Britt's the version. They did the other guy run against Katie Britt the same way they did against the guy run against Thad Cochran. Same way they did against Matt Blevins in Kentucky. Man, it's awful hard not to despise the Republican establishment. I mean, to truly despise them. You know what I'm saying? It's awful hard because they are some sick mofos. They would rather have the Republican lose. If Katie Britt went down in flames in the primary, the Republican establishment would rather have Joe Miller lose, for instance, and a Democrat win than a Joe Miller type win, if that makes sense. That's how evil the Republican establishment is. Because all they know is they say, even if I'm not party, I know I got Cato Institute. They're going to raise money for me from big corporate donors and big rich supposed libertarians. I'll still get paid. I'll still go Paul Ryan. The fact that Paul Ryan, who somebody else supported DeSantis right away, I'm like, dude, it's like three guys, Jeb Bush, I think, Paul Ryan, and someone else. I'm like, that's painful. DeSantis needs to say, yeah, look, he needs to address. Listen to me. I'm just saying, come on, DeSantis, man. You start seeing this pile on of these establishment types support you this early. There's a reason they're doing this, and it's I'm not sure. Like Paul Ryan, no one likes Paul Ryan and the Republican Party. And well, I mean, the establishment does. Populists in the streets, libertarian in the sheets. So the wealthy to-do people and the movers and shakers love Paul Ryan. Everyone else hates him. I wouldn't vote for him again. Mitt Romney, everyone else hates him. I wouldn't vote for him. I would sit out instead of vote for those two men. You know what I'm saying? I would not vote for him. Jeb Bush, I would not vote for him either. No way. Anyway, the point being is the fact that these guys are all lining up this quick for DeSantis. There's something happening to say, and I know that people are going to say, oh, they're trying to shot across the bow against Trump. Nah, Trump isn't worried about that. Trump's like, it's weird. It's like they're trying to take out DeSantis in advance. I'm not sure why. So it's kind of like, because this doesn't support DeSantis at all. That Paul Ryan, Jeb Bush, and there's some other clown support DeSantis. I was like, that's not a good look for old Rick or Ron. Unless he's part of that crew. We don't know. He might well be, guys. He might well be. He might just be an ambitious, typical Republican and wants to raise a boatload of money. And maybe his handlers, maybe the Paul Ryans of the world get a cut. What happens to these politicians, I can't remember what they call them anymore, but they'll bring in pots of money through a guy. So Paul Ryan will go around to corporate and they'll raise 100,000 here, 100,000 here, and they'll combine it into one big package, which they'll give to a DeSantis PAC. And then I imagine Paul Ryan, whoever they call it something, there's a name for that, gets to keep a percentage. I'm sure that's what they're doing. Say, look, man, you got to get on board early with DeSantis. Start sending money his way to get his political campaign going, because once the shots start firing, we want to make sure DeSantis is as agile to do what we want him to do. And we want to start putting people in place for Secretary of State, for Secretary of the Treasury. Yeah. Joe, you still on here? What do you think about that with DeSantis? Does that bother you? All right, good. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Okay, good. I think we're on the same page. I just want to know what far right is, because yeah, but you said there's far right. Who's a far right? Oh, I forgot. We have New Hampshire up too. Yeah. That's right. I think if I had one sleeper, it would be New Hampshire. Remember, New Hampshire went crazy for the local office for Republicans. So basically, New Hampshire has a Republican governor, and he's not great, but he's certainly better. And they have a huge majority in the state capital of the legislature. I could see New Hampshire surprising, because remember, Maggie Hassan, Kelly Ayotte, was that 2000? I think she went down to 18. So who was the who's the 2016? Was Ray? You might know. When did Ayotte go down? 2018, I think. Was it 2020? What do you think about DeSantis and all these guys? Yeah, I'm not okay. Right, Jill's not okay. Good. So we're on the same page. Ooh, I like that. I agree with that. Well, dude, that's a great observation. The far right of the Republican Party. That's funny you said that, because normally you think Lindsey Graham and these clowns are not the far right. But if you're supporting war, you're far right. I like it. Yeah, was that 2018 or 2016 against Hassan? I forgot. Mike, don't hold your breath, man. I'm telling you. Yeah. Harry lives in Oklahoma, the only state where every county voted for the Trumpster. But DeSantis wears his beautiful navy suit, and it looks so handsome. Looks like officer and a gentleman. I like it, Kirk. But the problem is, I don't like putting on the far right, because I actually like far right. Because there's no meaning to it, and so I like far right, because that is where I want to be. I don't want to be in the squishy right. You know what I'm saying? And when I say far right, that's where I want to be. I want to be in the populist right. Buchananite, if that makes sense. Trumpster for the Trumpster or some Trumpster to shake up the establishment, but in terms of Buchanan, that's where I want to be. You Canaanite right, if that makes sense. And there isn't anyone out there like that. They're slowly starting to come out, but they're local and not very prominent as we sit here today. Tom Cotton certainly isn't. He supports the war in Ukraine. I'm not sure how the Josh Hawley. I bet Josh Hawley supports the. If they support the war in Ukraine, they're bad. They're not certainly not far right. I know my man said far right is war in Ukraine. I don't agree with that at all. I think far right would be they don't support it's America first. You know what I'm saying? America first, 100%. No war in Ukraine. We gotta nibble back on the 57 flavors because it's gone insane. We all know this. We gotta really protect innocent children. I'm not for the death penalty because I don't trust the government to execute correct. Not that in terms of actual execution, but given how many people have been falsely accused, and I don't trust the government to be competent enough in that. So I'm not for the death penalty, but I am for if you commit crimes, recidivism. We got to stop that. And if you're going to keep doing it, you're going to pay the freaking price. And it's not going to pay the price with just a slap on the wrist, man. You're gonna pay the price, dude. It's gonna be tough, and just think twice before you go freaking go punch a elderly white guy or a white lady in the back of the head while he's getting on a subway train. Yeah, and people say that's racist. Damn right, freaking racist. It says we're going to protect old people regardless of what race they are. Of course, it's racist because we're protecting all races inherently. You can't have people, thugs going. We all know there's a certain group of thugs that go up and punch people in the back of the head and kill them. We know this, and they do it against the most unsuspecting. It's just cowardly. And at some point, some Republicans have to step up and say, no, we're not having this anymore. If you do that, and you're found, you will never see the light of day again. I'm not going to execute people if I was governor because I can't stress enough how I don't trust the prosecution. But I say you will never see the light of day again, ever, because you can't be doing that stuff, man. You just can't. Maybe send them to Ukraine. Oh, that's what you could do. You could say, I'm going to send you to Ukraine. Go see how they treat you there. You know what I'm saying, buddy? Yeah, let's go see how those Ukrainians treat you as you're bashing young Asian ladies, old Asian ladies in the freaking streets of San Francisco. If I were Republicans, I'd be going hard on this crime stuff. And the Republicans, they sold their best issues because they're so afraid of being called racist. What's his name? Leah Atwater said, yeah, I should never use the Willie Horton ad. I said, yes, you freaking idiot. That ad was so effective. It was so effective. I don't know why you would. It's crazy. That's crazy. Now, if you're for the death penalty, that means you trust that the government is competent enough to take the life of somebody via a trial. If you have had any experience with the government, you know they're not competent enough. They're just not. And when people's lives are on the line, you can't have that, man. I don't think anything's going to happen in Oregon. Tina, I think it's Tina. I think those days are long gone with Packwood. I don't think anything's coming back. If you're found guilty of a violent crime, you will go to jail for a long time. At least you had a jury in front of your peers. We're not taking your life, but you will not see the light of day again. I think that's absolutely acceptable behavior. And you're not going to say, oh, but I was abused by my wife or my daughter or my mom. I don't care. You might have been abused. That innocent Asian lady who's walking down the street with her bag of freaking belongings to go eat some rice. She wasn't, that had nothing to do with her. Don't take it on her. You know what I'm saying? We all know there's a group of people who do all this. Recidivism works. And just because this one group of people does all this doesn't mean the entirety of that group is bad. But there is a certain section of society that's causing rampant havoc in certain areas of our country. And we got to protect those other people who are being the overwhelming victims of these crimes. It is absolutely the farthest thing from racist to say that. But you gotta protect the innocent babies, innocent victims of crime. Just happens to be the vast majority of innocent victims of crime are not white-skinned people like me. And the vast majority of the perps against those non-white-skinned victims of crime happen to be the same color as the victims. And you got to go after them. Like freaking stink on poop or white on rice. You say, we're not putting up with this. Oh, but we're going to take down a statue of Robert E. Lee. That has nothing to do with any of this. Dude. It's freaking stupid. Oh, sweet. Oh, I like it. Well, I like that you're trolling them. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, they say if you don't support Ukraine, you're pro. Yeah, whatever. I mean, that is the black and white thing. Is stupid. Us versus them. I don't support Ukraine war. I'm pro Putin. I think Putin is in on it and on the whole globalist agenda. All right. Hey, stuff due. All right. Thanks, man. Jill says, not for the, oh, yeah, right on. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. But you got to be careful on the bail because bail is a way to hold people prisoner essentially without a trial. And that's, we still got to recognize individual liberty. See what I'm saying? So the bail is an issue in poor black kids, poor black communities. This is where the Democrats actually had a legitimate issue to run on because there's tons of evidence that the bail was used inappropriately against people who had no ability to pay the bail. And and remember, prosecution, um, they're there to convict, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they do. They bases wins versus losses, and so bail is used as a force in order to get to basically enforce crime. I mean, uh, basically enforce laws without having a fair trial. And again, so the pendulum swung too far. Now swung in too far the other way. You see, you gotta be careful. This is where the Constitution is such a wonderful document. It's like, dude, there is a middle of the road here, and unfortunately, some innocent people will go to jail. Some guilty people will be set free. But the alternative is the other end. We're going to kill a lot of innocent people, or we're going to kill a lot of innocent people because no one goes to jail, or kill a lot of innocent people because we're too quick on the trigger for the death penalty. Got what I'm saying? Yeah, this is such a clown show. Yep. We should not be staying out of it. No, we should be staying out of it, Brad. Yeah, okay. I think you've been today. We'll see. I don't think so. Have to wonder why Nike gave their. Yeah, I saw that too. That was weird, Ray. That was kind of odd. That was weird. Phil Knight does not want Tent City to be our Tent City Tina. But he probably is like, please, whatever you do, don't drop him off in front of my house. Yeah, this is insanity. Well, there you go. Perfect example of bail being used right there. In some ways, good that I'm not pleased this is happening. I saw a guy got 90 days or 9 months. His literal crime was parading. He was parading. He got, I think it was, I hope it was only 90 days. He got 90 jails in prison for parading. It's insanity. In some ways, it's good that our side is seeing the other side of what I have to say urban blacks have been screaming about for a long time. Is that when it's against you, and it's not good, man. Sending people to jail for crimes they didn't commit without any pure opportunity to defend yourself, which is exactly what happened in Jan 6. It's crazy. And as such, it's kind of good that we're seeing a little bit of this, unfortunately, with our own sacrifice. And our own sacrifice, of course, would be, the guys on January 6th. It's sad it had to come that far, but be it as it may, it is. And yeah, right there, Ray, a stock dividend payment. Ooh, good point. Yeah, that's not that funny. But I'll never forget when I'm going to get out of here in a second. But when I was in a trial, I'll never this guy, just an old white guy. The lady was guilty. The cops would never have pulled her over. She wasn't guilty. I said, yeah, but you should never pulled her over to begin with. There's no evidence, probable cause. And there's no way he would ever see that the cops ever did anything wrong. I said, dude, look, I like the cops. I support the blue, but you've got a population of every 100 people. There are going to be a couple that are just bad apples, man. And maybe this case, it might not have been a bad apple, just an honest mistake. But either way, the lady who's being prosecuted should not bear the brunt of that because there is literally no probable cause. There's no evidence to do what they're trying to do. And he's like, oh, no, they wouldn't. And hopefully now he'll say, yeah, the cops can make mistakes. The government can make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Not only that, but the government can lie, cheat, and steal. I know that's shocking. And the cops can lie, cheat, and steal. The FBI, CIA, the Department of Defense, the VA, all the things we liked about the government, the military, the police, the CDC, they can all lie, cheat, and steal. And for any Republican who believes in small government, this should not be new to you. I mean, it shouldn't be. You know, for the relatively not for a while, I've been, the VA needs to, the DOD needs to get its budget slashed. I thought that for 5, 6 years now, but that's certainly relatively new to me. Slash the EPA, slash this, but increase the defense budget. No, you can't have that. Just slash them all, man. Make them all 10% across the board. Done. They all get by just fine. But anyway, I was one of those guys. I supported I never trusted the CDC, but I did support the DOD, the FBI, CIA, military as a whole, police as a whole. Maybe not the police as a whole. Mostly, but not as much as I did the military, if that makes sense. Now, none. I don't support any of them. FDA, EPA, CDC, DOE, Department of Education. I'd love to see them all shut down. It will never happen, but that includes the VA, or the DOD, FBI, CIA, NASA. Shut them all. 10% across the board. But how are we going to ever get back to the moon if we slash the NASA budget, Josh? Some guy actually said there's no reason to go to the moon anymore. Don't need to put people there because we can see what we need to see with our satellites. I said, man, I hadn't heard that, but that's a good excuse why we haven't gone back to the moon, because we don't need to go because we've basically uncovered everything with satellites. Okay. So that's a new argument of why we haven't been back to the moon. I said, okay. All right. Oh, 100%. And so what happens is you have uh, bordering on vigilante justice at some point. You know what I'm saying? Where people say, "Oh, if they're not going to do it, I'm going to take the law into my own hands." And then you have bad laws passed again, like Joe Biden with the Crime Act in 1994, which we all supported. We all supported. You know what I'm saying? But don't forget, the blacks wanted to make crack more of a criminal enterprise than cocaine. That's what the blacks wanted. Crazy how that got turned on his head with Kamala and against Biden. I was like, I can't stand Biden. He's a clown. I can never have liked Biden. I just like, of all the Democrats, he ain't it. I can't stand that guy. But there's the blacks who wanted the crime bill with crack cocaine in 1994 being a bigger crime than cocaine, because crack cocaine was running rampant. It's cheap. That's why they call it a rock. It's cheap. It's just this little rock you put in a crack pipe and you light it up and smoke it. It was cheap, is accessible, and they wanted people who were selling that to pay more crime, to do more time than people selling powdered cocaine in rich white suburban communities. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, oh no, it's racist. I said, that's why you can't freaking meet. This is why Vern is saying we need to meet middle of the road. I'm not saying he was saying that, but the implication is kind of going on. You can't meet middle of the road with lunatics, man. You can't. These people, you have to beat them and make them see you on your terms. And this is what Republicans got the Stockholm syndrome. We're so used to losing. We'll say, all right, I want to meet middle of the road, but I'll take 10% of the road. We won't kick off the 50. We won't have a coin toss of the 50. We'll have a coin toss on my own 10. And if you get the ball, you'll be at my 10. And if I get the ball, I'll be at my 10 too. Which means I got to go 90 yards. You got to go 10, but at least I'm on the field. Please, Nancy Pelosi, please just let us play. And you got to stop that. You got to beat Nancy Pelosi, and it's not her, but you know what I'm saying. You got to beat these guys back. And the way you do it is with Lindsey Grahamnesties. You got to do it with J.D. Vance types, with Josh Hawley. Again, I'm not sure his stance on Ukraine. I bet he's for it. I don't like it. But, I'm willing to give people the benefit of the doubt that, that, hey, they can make mistakes. Trump ain't a conservative, for heaven's sake. He made tons of mistakes, that guy. But, he's able to rattle the cage. Anyway. Yeah. All right, my friends, are gonna get out of here. They're Fetterman's gonna win, dude. I mean, he's already exactly because he's already lieutenant governor. But he had the stroke recently. He didn't have the stroke before, so it's just a mean, ugly guy. I mean, literally just ugly inside. Mean, ugly guy. I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm getting tired. God bless. Peace out. It'll be fun to watch. Remember, it's nothing to do about it. Just vote. But I didn't even get into it. Make sure you vote for your local candidate. For heaven's sake, it's the states that can really be big. And there's every single state legislature except for a couple are up. And this is where you can't gerrymander the Senate. You can gerrymander the House, which is why the Republicans will win, and you can gerrymander the states, which is why the Republicans are going to win, because the Republicans still control more state legislatures than the Democrats. And they still have more trifectas than the Democrats, the state legislature plus the governor. So the gerrymandering that you hear, lots of gerrymandering going on under the surface for the Senate, the every 10 years. And the Republicans were hugely in majorities a lot of these places. There's been some huge gerrymandering going on, which today, but it's just the rules, man. We play the rules. We don't make them. I wish there weren't, but there is. And it's going to be a big win. It's going to be a big night for the Republicans in the local areas. Make sure you vote for. Don't say you're not going to vote because you can't stand Lisa Murkowski. I get it. I mean, vote against her, or whoever. The chick in Alabama. Don't not vote just because that stupid chick, Katie Britt in Alabama. You're like, I don't like her. Still go vote there for your local people. I'm telling you, man, you get a big turnout in local elections with a Senate, state Senate, and state House. Some of you guys get to vote on constitutional amendments, governors. I mean, not governors, but amendments and stuff. That's where the sea change is going to be. I can't wait to see that. All right. God bless. We'll see you, man. Yeah, it is all right, but you still want to vote. It makes you feel good. Makes you feel good. It's cathartic. All right. We'll see you guys.